Let me know some of y'all answers down below. Anybody that wants to come up, feel free. Once we get to 2K likes, keep tapping, y'all. Once we get to 2K likes, I'm going to turn back my mic. Who appreciate us? Let me know. Who appreciate us? Peace, y'all. What's going on? I I apologize in advance to anybody that's seen the video I posted. I swiftly removed it. The that was swindled by the internet, thinking that the story was true, and had to self-correct after recording a video for like 20 minutes. But yeah, so it really was in the news, Jerica, because someone came in my comments and was like, it wasn't real, and then I looked it up again at the same articles I was looking at, and I was like, you know what? Now that I look at it a second time, it doesn't say it was there was a place. That's how you can tell. There was no place. It just says it happened. It doesn't say where it happened. And I kept looking for it, but I was like ignoring that. Yeah, I thought it was just breaking news. I thought it just broke today. Like no article I found was older than like I think 12 hours. I think 11 hours was the oldest one I've seen. So I'm thinking it just happened. It didn't get syndicated yet to all the major networks. But yeah, that I couldn't trust it. I couldn't keep that content up because I can't expect people to trust me in little things if I can't be fact checking myself about small things. And plus, you feel like a bozo when you leave something up and you know you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing that. It would have been a wonderful story to report, though, if it were true, man. I'm talking about what's his name? It's a brother that unalived a police officer's daughter because his son was unalived by that police officer. You know what I'm saying? If y'all know that story, I'm talking about Douglas Barnes. Y'all could look that up, but it turns out the story's all cap. Ain't no American heroes out here, man. Us black men, we still too afraid. Yeah, I thought it was real, Stella. I thought it was real. I thought somebody sought justice, in an unjust environment. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Accountability is key. I want to be honest, if nothing else, on what everything I'm doing, because I be trying to tell y'all too. Like some people, I have information for y'all. I am not a teacher. I am not a guru. I'm not your pastor. I'm just somebody that's learning more and more about Pan-Africanism, my African roots. And I'm going to just be honest with y'all along my journey and tell y'all what I've learned. Hopefully some of what I learned can help you learn. But I'm not Dr. Umar. I'm not, somebody that's going to have, as much information as him. You know what I'm saying? Or, You know what I'm saying? Like all I could do is keep it real. You know what I'm saying? I keep it real about what I know, what I'm talking about, my culture, my people. I'm gonna just tell y'all what I know. If y'all know something else, then cool. But I feel like what I know lays enough of a foundation to where I could tell when someone's telling the truth based on what other scholars have already kind of said. That's why I'm so confident with it, because I've looked at so many different angles on different things that I'm like, okay, it's going like if you're telling me the truth, trust me, some scholar told me already. But if not, then I have to look it up. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll look something up, especially if it's having to do with current events. But anyway, y'all got some questions up here. If y'all want to answer them, go ahead and answer in the comments. Do you have to be black to even be pro-black? Is our culture appreciated or appropriated? Which one is it? Because I found out last night that some people think there's a difference. I just want to know where the line is. Like where the when did you cross the line into appreciation? Because you started on appropriation. Let's not even give them that. Like y'all didn't start in the middle and had to choose between appropriation or appreciation. Y'all started on appropriation. So I just want to know when we ended up at appreciation. When did we start appreciating black women? I went straight for the women because they're the ones that pass down the culture. Because y'all don't make sure that the men live long enough to do that. So when did y'all start appreciating the culture? Let me know. I need to know. Because apparently there's a difference. Some people can appreciate. You know what I'm saying? Y'all appreciating stolen goods. Interesting. Y'all appreciating stolen goods. Y'all appreciating a culture of survival. Y'all appreciate that. People that, the laziest people in America appreciate the spoils of people that had to work sun up to sundown. They love that culture. For some reason, they love that culture, but they ain't love getting in them fields with us, did they? They love the culture, but I don't see making fake IDs with the name D. Ray Jackson on it. So when they get pulled over, you know what I'm saying? I don't see none of them.
I believe
Everybody want to be
that
black till the man come around.
you don't have to be black to be pro-black.
Women work right, the culture been enforced it. Absolutely. Absolutely. A response to oppression. And that's the thing. Everything in Western culture pretty much is a response to some sort of adversity. Because Western culture was cultivated on, ancient Romans and, them Northern Europeans.
Exactly.
We got some people up here. Got somebody up here. Give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Age 24, race, native to America, and what was the last one? Pronoun, cisgender male.
All right. I never heard a Native American call themselves Native American,
I'm
but
not
cool.
native. I'm not legally classified as what they deem in today's day and age Native American. I just know I personally am native to this land. I have a grandfather that traces back to Jamaica, but as far as my history runs, it's here in America.
So what do you mean you're native to this land, but your grandfather was in Jamaica? How's that work?
Me specifically was born in Baltimore, Maryland, of the
Oh,
United
I see.
States.
So when I asked you your race, you thought I meant nationality. I'm talking about your race. Are you black, white, Asian, indigenous?
I'm having. I mean, I guess what I'm gonna make it easy for
Let's
today,
not
but
get
I'm trying to
creative,
get
man.
people
What
to
are
stop
you?
using that black word. But yes,
All
yes, I
right.
guess
Okay. Talk to us.
I believe that you don't have to be black to be pro-black. The only issue is that our allies who are claiming to be allies don't know how to be real allies. I believe that it is possible to support from a distance and give us our space, but they believe that we have to cohabitate together and live side by side and mix our races to they have to have full access to our culture for us to exist, and we don't have the ability to get back what we had pre-colonization, our own community with our own thoughts shared together to where as though we could come and produce something and share it with another community.
So you say you don't have to be black to be pro-black. So what are you basing this off of? What is your definition of pro-black?
Anybody who is rooting for the liberation of the melanated black people,
Okay.
neuromelanated black people.
Um, I would say that's uh, a noble definition. I wouldn't say that's an all-encompassing definition. Um, I know when someone sees pro in front of in front of a word, they think it just means to root for something, But you wouldn't say that about being pro-life. Pro-life, you would
Yeah,
think
that
it's.
get tricky when you start talking about grape and all of that.
I don't know what you mean by that, but
Like, I believe in pro-life, but to an extent because also, you know what I'm saying, there are instances where it wasn't planned and sometimes there was abusive natures
all right.
to
So you're pro-life. What do you root for?
I root for justice, like people that have things in divine timing when they want to and when it's supposed to happen, not for things to be forced on other people.
That's not what I thought pro-life meant. I'm pretty sure that's not what people march up and down the
Yeah,
street
no, yeah, for
pro-life
sure.
saying.
That's why I said you're right. It gets it gets tricky when you talk about stuff like pro-life because it's not just you can't just say you're for it. There's a lot that's entangled with that. You would be
Yeah,
agreeing to a
because
lot more than.
yeah, so pro-life doesn't mean you're just for life and you'll just watch a blade of grass grow. Like, yes, it's life. Like pro-life means something. It means you're anti-abortion, pretty much.
Hmm.
So um, what I'm saying is pro before something just don't mean you rooting for it. It stands for it has a certain significance in a certain context.
Right.
So pro-black means prioritizing one's actions and values with what's in the best interest of building within the black community. That's what that means. Like, it means your actions and your values are geared towards and uh, it's actions and values for a reason. It's not just what you do, but what you believe in when no one else is around, and how you prioritize your community above all other communities. So
So you would separate people who are pro-black from people who are allies.
I would say
Like you, like
it depends
there's
on
a
what.
distinction.
Yeah, I would say it depends on what we're allies for. Like, what do we? What is the allyship to do? What do we both
So I think
want
like
to do?
everybody who isn't in like everybody in the low class, the people who are treated this peasantly the same as us, but isn't a part of our race, they can root for their like they should be
Nobody
pro
treated the same as
themselves.
us. That's not a part of our race, brother.
Like you know what I mean? How do I say it? Poor white tea people. Just I mean like I come from the
Not
struggle, so
treated.
like
The
everybody
poorest, the
who
poorest
isn't
white tea person is not treated
the
the
same as
same as
us.
the poor. Yeah,
Yeah, I be hearing that. I do be
they
hearing.
could get they could put a suit on, get a haircut, and be in a whole other class
That
of
face
black
card,
community.
right? True. Dang, 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 dang. I don't be thinking about it like that because I barely see people who grow up in the struggle from that side like switch up like that. I feel like yeah, they still get treated differently, but like I don't know, like you know, his white best friends out. I have not. I have melanated best friends, and it's not best friend. I'm lying. I got melanated friends who grew up in a struggle and like You know what I'm saying? They eating noodles every day just like me. So I feel like it's in their best interest to like root for our freedom as much as their own. But yeah, I wouldn't. I guess you're right. You have opened me up to the idea that they wouldn't be pro-black. They would be an ally.
I would say that we're the allies. If you're talking about dismantling racism,
Mm,
because that's their goal.
real talk.
Racism is their problem, and it's like it's like somebody that's always sick and don't get better, and they keep sneezing on you, and so when they sneeze on you, you get the symptoms and you get sick. But every time you about to heal up, they sneeze on you again.
Hmm.
The problem is that they are sick. The problem is not that
Exactly.
you're sick. You're sick because they are sick. So the problem lies with their community. So if we're helping them dismantle a bigoted, messed up system that has actually cost them trillions of dollars, by the way, um, it's actually ripped their country apart. They had a whole civil war about it. Like like if they fix that, that is something that only they can fix, and that's something that benefits them. For us, it would be a benefit just for them to stop bothering us, but that's not actually a benefit. That's like me saying you're benefiting from, or that's like saying someone's not benefit from the Rock punching them right now. Like
Mm,
the Rock is not supposed to be punching nobody. So
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like so,
I think
yeah.
I think my only thing is you're right. Like it's not our fault, but it's kind of been pinned on us because they like we have seen through history that they are reluctant to change. So it's like we have to dang near force a change.
And when in history has anyone ever forced a change without getting ketchup all over the place? If you know what I
No, yeah,
mean.
for sure, for sure. I better say, if you didn't mention that last part, I was gonna bring up the Gullah, I was gonna bring up Haiti, I
Yeah.
was, but yeah, you're right. It get messy.
I mean, we watching what's happening in South Africa. If anybody's really curious about the future of Black America,
OMG,
um,
oh yeah,
pay
that's a
attention to South Africa because they like in the other side of the mirror for us. Like it's kind of like a mirror, but the difference is over there, Black people are majority.
mm.
So it's interesting to see how they're handling things. They're having an election today, so um, their day starts at like 5 a.m. Eastern time, 5 a.m. Central time. But yeah, so
That's not that one guy who I've been seeing all over TikTok, like really giving it to the people trying to take over his country. Like,
Malema,
I think that might be him.
Julius Malema. Yeah,
Everybody rooting for him.
I mean we're gonna see, man. The polls say that he don't have enough of the vote, but they didn't start counting yet. Like the vote is today, so and you can't go by the polls these days. Polls be inaccurate as hell. So we gotta see what's gonna happen.
I don't even get what's going on with our election and people wanting to choose between these two. It's not making no sense to me.
Bro, you see what's going down in Palestine? Like, like America is America is cooked, bro. Like, honestly, any freedom-minded African needs to start thinking of where they're gonna go outside of here. To be honest, but I
It's
understand we all
like,
can't make that choice. So,
yeah, I think a
cool.
lot of people don't have enough discernment to share support for Philistine, but still save enough energy to free themselves. It's like everything has to be given to another. Like their empathy is just taking over, and they're being distracted by it, and it's making them complacent in their own backyard.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the thing where it's like, I really, 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 really want to tell all Black people, yo, we gotta go, y'all.
Exactly, exactly.
But I know I'm gonna get that. We can't all go.
But
I
what?
love
But
my mama. I love my plantation. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't all, I love my comfort and my air conditioning all day,
I love the wages I
24/7.
make at this job. I just got this promotion.
Right. And then it's like, damn, well, I understand some of y'all gonna
Still
feel
got to
like you
feed.
can't, but but the oppressor is not gonna care about that excuse when things get real sour here in America. No one's gonna say, oh well, this person just couldn't afford to leave. Like like if America is corrupted to the core, like it is shown it is, and continues down the path that it is going to continue now, like the next 50 years is looking crazy.
I ain't got too much hope, but people like what's her name, Miss Crockett, that just came from Marjorie Green. She give me a little bit of hope.
Hmm.
I think people just need to start
Wait,
like looking
wait,
into
you
local
talking about bad
Miss
Bill?
Bad Bill, but
How she give you hope?
because she just being herself in an environment that doesn't allow it for us. And I mean, I don't know. I did not like how she was basically defending. She was trying to separate the president from the crimes of his son, and that was a little weird. I feel like both of them need to go. Like he allowed that stuff to happen, but I don't know. As a representation of us, she making it more prevalent
Oh wait, you talking about
for
the sister that was talking to her?
yeah.
Oh, I thought you was talking about
Oh, not the no, not the built, not the bad built one.
the Theo melanated. Yeah, okay. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, nah, absolutely. I mean, she can't
Yes,
be wrong.
Jasmine, Jasmine.
It's just a clown show. It's just something to make
Yeah,
us
it do
laugh.
seem like a big show too. I don't like the fact that I feel like when I was younger, we didn't see all of these Congress meetings being plastered all over social media, and it didn't have so much of the drama aspect.
Nah, because when I was young, or I mean, I'm not even that old, but like in the '90s when I was a kid, the politics was serious, bro. Like there was a
Right?
time when politics was like serious, like
I feel like they only showing the antics right now, and it's like
yeah, like bro. Now it's like a reality TV show. But
exactly people tuning in.
there was a time, young man, when everybody was acting serious as hell. Like everything was like, oh wow, oh whoa, this law got passed. Oh wow, you
Exactly.
know.
Now it's like so many bills is getting slipped through without nobody knowing about because they're worried about the distractions that's being put in front of them instead of what's really going on. Like rights is
Yeah,
getting taken away.
yeah. I mean, Obama was the end of that. Once they seen a black man get in the White House, they couldn't take it seriously no more.
Mm,
So that's when it all became like they've been playing this game back and forth for hundreds of years, and now a black man won. And this game is silly. You
yeah,
know.
so yeah, what? That's what it was. I feel like everything was serious up until Obama. After
Until
Obama,
Obama. Yeah.
once his like second term started, it became this big show in the government. Like everything that was coming out is whoa, look at this, whoa, look at that. It was never look, we down to business. We really about to get stuff moving.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I mean, the more I look at it geopolitically, Obama's a puppet.
no
Big,
cap.
big puppet, man.
I don't
Like,
want to. I don't want to spread misinformation, so I want somebody to correct me if I'm wrong. But I heard like he got the blood lineage of the Mustache Man.
oh, Obama? I
Yeah,
know he got the
like that's his
lineage of
grand.
he got the
Obama
lineage.
is the grandson of the Mustache Man.
I gotta look that up. But I know he got the lineage of a slave owner on his mother's side.
Yeah, yeah. The mother is the one who is is connecting him to
Yeah.
the Mustache Man as well.
Trump, I think it's Trump. I'm not sure if there's another president, but I seen something that said like Trump was one of the only presidents that's not related to a slave owner. But
Yeah, that's the first
his
thing I've seen
father
too.
his father did come here from Germany. You know what I'm saying? Germans was doing a certain type
Yeah,
of timing back
yeah. He
then.
showed his flag inside of the Trump building. He got like a flag that connects back to his Germany lineage, and it also connects into like how do I can't.
Yeah,
I
I
don't want to
know.
get it wrong, but I do. I wish I could
Oh,
get you to talk to this guy at Mind and Soul. He has all of the information and the statistics to prove like the connection between the presidents in Germany and Europe. Like it's like they make sure they know who is becoming the next president. If you're not connected to these certain bloodlines, they're not allowing you to become president. Besides Trump, and still
mm,
he's connected to Germany and like He got like a sigil on his foot on it. Like it's one flag in his building in New York. They're like, damn. I wish I could get him in here. I don't want to talk too much
Mm.
about it because
Nah, it's
I'm
cool. It's
ignorant.
cool. Yeah, I mean, I gotta look up some of this stuff too. It's been a while. I seen a documentary on Trump that kind of like broke down his connection. Like his father used to sell hamburgers to the railroad workers during the gold rush, and basically they used to go up a mountain, and the horses sometimes couldn't make it up the mountain, so they push them over the side of the cliff. And so
God,
there was this place at the bottom of the cliff, which is a bunch of unalived horses. You feel me? And his father came up with an idea, opened up a burger spot, and started feeding the workers burgers because the workers was hungry.
wait a
Turns
minute. Don't say
out
what I think you
he
about to
was
say.
he was feeding them
Oh,
horse meat the whole time from the bottom of the, and
oh my.
that's how his father got rich. Like his father got his
That's
first
what.
little
That's
bread.
another thing that really gets me. Like, why don't people like you like without seasoning? You really can't tell what meat you eat, and so like, why do people be so comfortable just like they just know for sure that they eating chicken when somebody tell them that they eating chicken? Just
But it speaks to how America is a criminal organization where you really have to like be deceptive and exploit people in order to get ahead. Like you gotta,
it's a corporation. We're not even a country for real.
you know. So
The
there's
only
three
thing
ways
really
to look at
confusing to me
America.
is those people like who, the people who are claiming to be Moors here and are talking about like I believe certain things like we shouldn't have had our birth certificate signed and we shouldn't have had like a social security number because the social security number is linked to something else. But I just feel like I don't get how signing more paperwork will get us out of the situation. Like
Yeah,
they be saying like it's a way to unlock money from your social security number and all this extraness and it's just like
mm.
if it was that easy, I don't know. I don't know. Like
Oh
people don't
yeah, I've seen those videos, man. Yeah, I don't fall for that, man.
that's what I'm saying.
I don't trust them type of dudes, bro.
Like it's historically proven that before colonization we did know about paper and papyrus, but we didn't believe in contracts and owning land and stuff like that. So how come all of a sudden after we should just believe that oh they're gonna agree to let us get our land back if we sign some more contracts when they brought contracts for us to sign to steal the land away from us in the first place?
Yeah, we can't sign no more contracts. Those days are up. Shout out to Ibrahim Traore. You know about Burkina Faso?
No, you gonna have to enlighten me.
Oh man, everybody should be watching what's going on in Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso. It's a West African Sahel region country.
America got
Um,
their hands in it.
man,
All right, I'm gonna look into it.
let me tell you something. The easiest way to tell what's going on with America is to look at what's going on in other countries. The easiest way to look at what's going on with your people is to look at what's going on in Africa.
Yeah, I keep seeing stuff about CSI agents and FBI agents being caught in Africa as undercover people to like mess with the political people of Africa. Like it's just like too many assassination attempts and
Yeah,
um
yeah,
mm,
yeah. They keep trying to get him. They try to get him like every 2 weeks, every month at least. Somebody try to get him out of there
that's
because
my
he,
homework for tonight. I'm about to look into that.
nah, bro. This is what he did. He did a deal with Russians to help kick the French out of Africa. First of all,
Yeah, because they've been under the French rule for a minute or the
yeah, they've been
control.
under French people, bro. French people take all of their money, and I think they give them 20%. So, because everything that comes into their country got to come through the French bank. So
God.
that's how it was. This I'm speaking in past tense, but yeah. So I had to go through the French bank, right? And then not only that, they're I think it was number 8 in the world with gold production, and I forgot the numbers, man. I think they're number 3 in the world for uranium. But basically, the uranium that comes from their country. Oh no, I might be thinking Niger. Actually, I'm thinking Niger. Somebody put some Burkina Faso stats down there. But long story short, they partnered with another company in Niger, which has the uranium. And basically, to explain how they're being exploited, I'm gonna use Niger as an example because they also partnered with Burkina Faso. They created their own coalition. It's like, bro, they kicked out all they kicked out all the Europeans. Burkina Faso actually did a deal. Both, I think Mali too, but they did a deal with Russia. And so people were saying like, how you do a deal with Russia? You kicking out one colonizer and bringing another. Um,
I don't know. I don't know. I
no,
feel
hold
like
on.
the Russians.
Let me tell you what happened, bro. So so the Russians come in, right? And they help them kick out the French. They do a plan. They do a deal with Burkina Faso to create a nuclear power plant. And I think what? No, yeah, and like they're just helping, like, you know, build infrastructure for the country. And
Right.
then
I heard power
after
plants is good
after
for
he
helping.
after he uses their help to get the French out, he then cancels all the gold contracts for the Russians because
Yo, he's smart. He's smart. He a smart man.
this is the only man on earth moving like this, bro.
Definitely,
And if
definitely.
you listen to what he talks about, it's in alignment with someone that came before him before the puppet was installed, and his name
I
was
just heard
Thomas
information
Sankara.
on it. I heard information on that. Yeah, the puppet was somebody who literally was like a low class op who they just put in position so that way he could be
Yeah,
used. And he was doing a whole bunch of heinous stuff with his power, like abusing it.
bruh. So now, uh, the president is 35. I think he's still 35. He the youngest president in the world. He took over. Like,
He got anything to do with Brinks and like
I mean, yeah, he showed up. I think he showed up at the summit, but he's not. They not. Their country's not a part of that.
right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah. Only certain countries are actually in that.
like
But
officially.
yeah, officially, I know they just approved some applications, but I don't know who's official yet. It's probably till the next big meeting, big conference, whatever. But yeah, man, Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore. Everybody should be looking him up. He might be
I,
the
I
he's the
appreciate
last
that.
of the
I'm about to
Mohicans.
look into that information. I'm gonna see if I can get my other friend to join this live because he would definitely be able to tap in and like enlighten some people, expound on some information.
All right, man.
Ready.
Everybody, everybody, everybody. Tap like, tap like. Yeah, I might. I hope I wasn't like misquoting a bunch of facts right there. I was trying to tell the story. It's been a while, man, since I read the article. My ring light is a dub, so I don't know how it broke. Who broke it? Probably not me, but I don't want to point no elbows. Could have been someone else. Someone else that be in here. I don't know who though. That person probably would blame me though. so, so yeah, it's one of those. She be watching these later. I should have been restarted the live, but I've kind of just been doing the lives for the YouTube now. We want to turn this into something bigger. Definitely could turn the light on though. Anybody else want to answer the questions? Come on up. My name is Brother Legend. What's going on? All my sisters, brothers, and others. If you're an other, don't call me brother. Just call me Legend. When white T men call me brother, it feel weird. I feel like, boy. I don't know. That's how it feel. I don't know. You don't even gotta be deep, I guess. That's how I feel about it. They be saying it with a hard R. That's what it is, brother. Excuse me, sir. Brother. Right? Oh yeah, K Dot. Yo, K Dot does do that. He does that on that song, brother. Like, yo, I don't know. I don't know. I'll be honest. Like, even if a black man approached me with the hard R on brother, he might get stole off on too. I don't know. If I don't know where he coming from out of nowhere, he's the brother. Nah, bro. You are brainwashed. You have been colonized. I don't even spell it that way, unless it's my TikTok. Hulk Hogan vibes. Right. And you see what Hulk Hogan was doing behind the scenes. Remember that tape? He was saying the N word. I forgot what the context was. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. They say brother, but that ain't what they mean. I don't look nothing like your brother. You know who does that though? You know who does that? Cornell West. Cornell West. He called everybody brother. He called everybody brother. This man will sit down with the devil himself. And he's sitting there like, hey, brother. Wait, hold on, brother. What you don't understand? Listen here now, brother. Like, he like what? Stop call. Why are you calling everybody that? Like, what do you mean? Like, do you? It's like he calls all living things that he knows are male brother. That he calls. He's trying to call everyone brother if he could get away with it, but he knows a black woman will smack him in the mouth if you do that. So he knows better. P. Trotty, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
54. He.
Your race?
I'm white.
All right, talk to us.
I don't think you necessarily have to be black to have or be pro-black. Do you agree with that?
I would ask you, for a little bit of context, what drew you to that conclusion?
Just from my own actions and my own experiences.
Okay, so have you experienced a library and like books, or do you mean like just your own perspective?
That's a twofold question. One is my wife is black, so I have experienced a lot of things through her. Two, it is through books because I do read and I do try to educate myself in how to change the system, which is through local elections, going through national elections to, that part of it. So I think that I hate to say this way, but I'm going to, but being white, I can actually help and be pro-black, if that makes sense.
Okay. Um, Let's talk about it. What's your definition of pro-black?
I would say being pro black is supporting the community, supporting the marginalized communities, voting into black power, supporting people who support the black community.
Could you define black power for me?
That's a little bit more tricky, isn't it? When you put black people into the Senate and into the House, they have a different perspective on laws that should be changed and laws that should be made for
So
the
you think,
marginalized and black community.
okay, so you would assess that black people holding positions of power in government is equivalent to black power.
Not quite, but in this day and age, kind of, yes.
Interesting. And so, what makes you think the rules written by the oppressor could be something that liberates black people? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Like, what makes you think that those rules should be written by one side and not the other?
Well, it should be written by both sides, to be honest, but it's not going to be. I mean, let's look at the
Why are you
Republican
so
versus
sure to say
Democrat.
it's not going to be?
Well, I mean, if you look at today's society in today's what do you politics, I don't think both sides are going to be in agreement with that. Is that true?
So,
You would think?
so you're saying that you think one side's unwillingness to change the rules that were written by them is going to prevail over the idea that both of them could live equitably?
All right, can you say that one more time?
So you're saying that um, the current driving force in oppression, the purveyor of injustice, is going to. Uh, I'm sorry, I forgot now. I forgot what I was saying before, but basically, you're saying that they can write the rules, and that their need to be the masters of the universe is going to keep them in charge, and you're assuming that any plans to change that would fail.
If you look at the history of the United States, it has always been um, oppressed for the black community or the BIPOC community in large. I think we need to have different people within the government to be able to change the future of our government and our country. In doing so, I think that we need to have more people within government as part of the BIPOC community to
But
be able to
whose
change
government
that.
is it?
It should be, quote unquote, the people's government.
Okay. And so it's not, though. So how do we get it there?
So, to change legislation, we have to get more people who are pro black, pro BIPOC community within local, state, and federal government.
Do you see what I'm saying here?
I think I
Your
do,
def-
yes.
it seems like your definition of black power has to be plugged into a wall of white power.
Oh
You know
no,
what I'm
I don't.
saying?
I don't. Yeah, I do. I hear you.
It's like you're saying that. So if that's the case, okay, if you are saying that, cool. But what makes you so certain that that is the destiny of that's the destined outcome? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
what's making you
yeah.
so sure of that? I want to know what it is. Is it y'all got a secret weapon we don't know about? You're already sending white women at us. So
It's called smallpox. Anyway,
no, we know all those tricks. What else y'all got cooking up?
I'm just saying that in my own thoughts, sitting here in my own little tiny home, that in order to change the national perspective, we have to change our local perspective on the BIPOC community. Does that
What
make
was
sense?
BIPOC to you? What does BIPOC mean?
The Black, Indigenous, and people of color, which is African Americans, Indigenous or Native Americans, and people of color, which expands into the Latino and Hispanic people.
Do you think the BIPOC community is pro-black?
I would think for the most part, yes.
And what have they shown to qualify that?
Latinos, Hispanic, and Indigenous have fought alongside the Black community in inequality and injustice within the United States.
Okay, so if we all scratch our back at the same time, we fool each other too?
I'm sorry, you cut out in the middle of that.
I said, if we all scratch our back at the same time, does that make us all one group too?
Absolutely not. You can scratch your back at the different times.
What I'm saying is, it sounds like your definition of pro-blackness is anti-racism. How do you define that? How do you define anti-racism?
Anti-racism. I guess you would have to define what is racism first.
Hmm. What is
So,
it?
what is your definition of racism?
Mine or yours?
Yours.
Mine is the one that don't matter.
But
So tell
it
me
matters
yours.
to me.
Tell me yours.
I would say that the definition of racism is the definition of ism. So if you look at ism, we have to look at what that definition of ism is. So if you have capitalism, you have racism, you have communism, then ism is a societal, how can I say this? Um, is a government of power that imposes restrictions and whatever within society. So if you have capitalism, then they impose the capitalist within society. If you have capitalism is bringing in that part of it within society. So racism is you have a group of white people who come in and bring in a set of rules against people of color.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
People of color?
Right. Within racism, yes.
Hmm. People of color equally?
Pretty much. I mean, if you look at the BIPOC community, you look at the Native people, they did the same thing. You look at Asians, they did the same thing.
What did
Black
they
people.
do? What did Asians do that was the same?
If you look at Asians, they had them on the railroad, and they wouldn't let them in the white establishments. They captured them for slaves, just like they did the black people.
Really?
Right.
Hmm.
So they also did that to the indigenous peoples. If you look at the Samoans, they enslaved Samoan Indians just as they did black people
Hmm.
in Florida, in Orange County, um, in South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, where the Samoans were. They enslaved them just as they did black people.
Interesting. So why they can't stay up out of Africa then?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Why do they colonize Africa so much?
Resources,
Hmm. I see.
gold, zinc. Look
Mhm.
at Tesla and what Tesla does with the zinc and their batteries. They're invading African countries for their resources to bring zinc to bring their batteries, right? That's the
Mhm.
main thing, right?
Mhm.
I'm not making this crap up. You can go look it on yourself, Holiday.
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
don't. I wouldn't accuse you of anything. I'm just listening. So, I
I mean, if
think.
you look at China going into Africa, they're making really big um, expenses into Africa to be able to harvest those resources, right? But the poor countries of Africa cannot pay back what China has paid. So China has gone in and taken over those parts of Africa because they can't pay back what they invested.
Hmm.
So you look at zinc, you look at nickel, you look at everything that goes into these lithium batteries that go into Tesla, that go into the iPhone, that go into all of these really high powered batteries. Yeah, they can't pay it back.
So, what do you think would be the difference between a person that's pro-black and a person that's not? Like, as far as your definition, like what qualifies someone to be pro-black? What action would need to take place?
What action? I believe that if you go into the community, you help, number one. Number two, you educate, you help marginalized and you help the black community to come into education, to get into um, universities and colleges to be able to support their family, whether it is tech, BOTech, university, colleges, community college, or whatever. Make that free. But it's free for the BIPOC and the white community as well.
The white
If you,
community?
oh yeah, because you have white people who are poor as well, who are marginalized. Now, not to the extent of the black community, but they are marginalized as well.
Were they slaves at one point too?
Not in the U.S., but in other countries, yes.
Hmm. Okay.
I mean, if you go off of slavery in an overall world community, yes, white people were slaves. But in the United States, no, they were not. They were
When
indigents in,
when
what do you call it, servitude? Indigent servitude.
when was their liberation day?
When was Liberation Day?
Yeah, like you know how we have Juneteenth. Like when was their Liberation Day?
Oh, there wasn't.
I'm sorry,
There wasn't.
there wasn't a Liberation Day. There wasn't like a July 4th.
Oh, July 4th, you look at coming to freedom from England, yes, but how
No,
do I
no,
put
I'm saying this. Was there anything like one day someone rode in on a donkey and was like, "Yo, we free," and then all the white people start hugging each other and holding hands in the rain. Because it wasn't sunny out. They couldn't be outside if it was sunny.
Memorial Day? I don't know. I understand where you're coming from. No, there wasn't the extent of white people being enslaved as there was in the BIPOC community that was being enslaved. Yes, I understand, and I honestly get that.
Mm.
Your point is made very well.
Well, so are you a racist?
Consciously, no.
Could you expound on that?
Elaborate? Okay, I am white. I
Hmm.
was in public school, so subconsciously, I cannot say that I am not racist. Within the schooling that I've had, now being 54, you have to understand what kind of education I've had within the public school system. Columbus Day was absolutely wonderful. We only had 1 month of Black History, um, and everything else was, how do I say this, white orientated, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So consciously, I try to be not racist. I am pro black. I go out and do everything else, blah, blah, blah. But subconsciously, I can't say that I'm not because of the education that I've had as a young age. Now, if I saw you on the other side of the road, would I cross it? Today, no.
I
10
would.
years ago, maybe.
I'm crossing the road, George Zimmerman. I don't know you. I'm telling you, I'm crossing the road. But okay. Um, Interesting.
It's not because
So,
I'm white. It's the education that you have to say that this is what black people did within a small scope of what your education is versus the white part of what your education is.
mhm. So let's say your relationship was in South Africa.
Yeah,
You know what's going on in South Africa right now?
there's a lot of civil wars going on right now. Yes, a lot of famine, a lot of
I didn't hear about the famine,
yeah,
but
there's a lot of famine and a lot of drainage of their wells. So there's not a bunch of water there.
well, I'm talking about what's going on with like Orania and the Dutch South Africans there.
Mhm.
These ladies, LJ.
They're fighting for
You
their freedom. They're fighting for their
right?
independence.
So
Yes.
let's say your relationship with your significant other was in South Africa,
Okay.
and the indigenous Black African people that are from that region want you gone, and you have a choice of either moving back home or I don't know. Like you can make your choice from there, but you don't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. You know, what would you do?
I would ask if I could take up arms with them. If they denied me taking up arms with them, then I would take my wife into something different to save her life.
Where would you take your? Where would you take? What do you mean, like take her to another like country?
Wherever she would be safe. That is my first objective, is to be able to
But
keep
why?
her safe.
Why do you think she wouldn't be safe? You're the one that's not safe. You know what I'm saying? In this scenario, you're in South Africa, a majority black country, where 7% of the population owns 70% of the land, and the people are tired,
Right.
done. Like they're yeah, they're on another level. Like they're organizing. Like as
Right.
we speak, tonight is their election night. So we're about to see what's going to happen in South Africa. But what I'm saying is they're avidly kicking people out of their land. And if they were going to do this, and you were to be in an interracial relationship with one native to the land, because
Mhm.
the person that's advocating for all of this is a Pan African. So if your wife is black, no matter where she's from, she'd be included in the indigenous people of that land. So that being the case, right? They want you gone. What are you going to do?
I would have to ask her, what does she want me to do? Does she want to come with me? If they avidly want me out of there and they're going to kill me because of that, then I would have to ask, what would you like me to do? You want me up out of there? I'm gone. You want to come with me? Let's go. You want me to stay here and take up arms? I'm there.
They wouldn't let you take up arms. I'm telling you that right now. I'm telling you that right now.
Okay.
Nobody trusts the mailman that wants to get all rowdy. You know, like
Well,
you know,
I've got arms. I mean, they might
nah,
want to see it first before they kick me out.
nobody
But
that because nobody's gonna let that happen. Like
I mean, if
they got
that's
their
not
own
going to
people.
happen,
Yeah.
then I would leave and I would ask her what she would like to do, because that would be her decision being a part of
What
that.
would you say if she chose to come and be with you?
Then I would take her anywhere she wanted to go.
And see, that's where that choice would conflict with anything pro-black.
Well, fuck.
So if that's the case, right, it
Right.
sounds like you know you might be anti-racist and you know somebody that's geared towards repairing centuries, generations of damage done uh, by them and their you know forefathers.
Right.
So that's cool. Not the same thing. Um, I
So
would say, yeah,
how
but
could you be pro-black in that situation? What would you suggest that I would do in that situation, but
I would
be still
suggest,
pro-black?
I would suggest you take your ass home. You take your ass home. Bye. Go home. Once you hear no more, it's been enough. Enough is enough. Um, so absolutely, that's the only choice. Except, if I were in a situation similar to that, um, and I chose to go to Europe, I know I've turned my back on my people.
Really?
So that being the case,
So if you were married to a white woman and you were in some part of Europe that was in flux and fighting, and they asked you to leave because you're black.
if what? Hold on now. What?
Okay, so if the same situation, let's say you're in some part of Europe, right, and you're married to a white woman, and they ask you to leave, but your wife, being a white woman, is accepted in that community, but they ask you to leave, what would you do?
I would never be in that situation, to be honest. Pretty much, I would avoid that situation at all costs. But I would never be in that situation. I would
So,
never, ever, ever be in that situation. I can't even answer that. I would never
so
be in that situation
could I say
ever.
the same thing about being in South Africa? I would never be in that situation within South Africa, being with a
You
black
are in
wife.
that situation. You are in that situation. It's just we changed the government above your situation, but you are in that situation. It's just you know, a lot of people choose not to see it that way. You know what I'm saying? Do you
Yeah,
think? Do you think the power dynamic between an adult and a child would make a relationship unethical?
I'm sorry. One more time.
Do you think the power dynamic in the age gap between an adult and a child would make a relationship unethical?
Yes.
What about the power dynamic between Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky? Do you think that made their relationship, if not illegal, at least unethical?
Yes.
Okay. So, what about the power dynamic to the racial caste system that has influenced all 10 areas of people activity for hundreds of years? Like, what about that power dynamic? Do you think that there is no power dynamic, or do you think that in some way this power dynamic is unethical? I
There
mean, ethical,
is
if ethical. My apologies.
there is a power dynamic, and I also believe that power dynamic is unethical. Yes.
So then,
Hmm.
all right. So sounds like you need to swim in the milk.
Swim in the milk.
It's time to take a dip. Yeah, you just said it. So you just said it's unethical.
It is.
So would you say that your marriage is then unethical?
Nope.
Why is that? What justifies that?
Love.
Okay, we can go that route.
I mean,
So,
if you loved a white woman, right? Would you care what? Oh, wait a minute. All right. So if you loved a white woman, would you say that your love between you two is unethical?
all
Hypothetically.
right, that's like asking me if you love the tiger, would it be, you know, what would you eat for breakfast? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like,
Cornflakes.
you know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm around a white woman, I know what time it is. So I can't imagine me not knowing what time it is in a relationship and now, you know, intertwined with this person. So you know what I'm saying? Like that's
Hmm.
for me, that's like I'm already married too. So, you know, that's even making it even harder to think about, you know what I'm saying? I
Right.
don't think that will ever happen. I'd never be in that situation. You're in that situation. That's what I was saying. So you would know. But what were we talking about? I forgot now.
I have no freaking idea.
We lost it, y'all.
Yeah, we did.
We lost it.
Oh, oh,
Oh
being
yeah, you
being in a
said
different
love.
country. Yeah.
I remember now. You said love. I remember you said love. And so my question now is for you to define love.
Love is a different definition for everyone.
So it's subjective. There's no definition.
I believe so, yes. I mean, if you look at it scientifically, yes, there is amount of serotonin that is released in your brain that makes you feel in a certain way.
All right,
And
hold
it
on, hold
tends
on.
to drop off within 5 to 6 years.
All right, hold on real quick. Hold on real quick. I
Sure.
gotta talk to everybody else, but hold on. Cover your ears or something. I don't know. All right, y'all. Whenever you get in a conversation with a white T man and you get to a point where the justification, the final justification, is something that's subjective and cannot be clearly defined, you have now reached the "because I said so" part of the conversation. That's when you reach the "because I said so" moment. You know what I'm saying? Y'all understand what I'm talking about? That's when you reach the "cause I said so" moment. Like whenever you're talking to them and you're talking and you're, using critical thinking concepts and you're asking them why this, why that, and you're just going through questions, getting more information. Once you get to the point where it's something subjective like God, love, tribal affiliation to, whatever, like the country, a football team, whatever. That is what Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. says is when you get to "because I said so." That's what that is. All right, man. We gonna go back to this. Um, actually, I'm good. Let's just keep it pushing, man. We gonna keep it pushing. I'm good. I think we learned what we had to learn from him, right? I think we learned what we had to learn. My question is, what do you do when you've been married for 22 years and share a child? Do you, or I don't care what y'all do, to be honest. That's your life. That's your life. That is enough for today, P. Trotty. We will have you up again maybe some other time and dive a little bit deeper. But I think we learned enough today. That was that was some intense work. And shout out to Ray's Days for the gifts. Um, Someone I know says they're thinking of an idea to create a program that can like tell you what questions to ask in a conversation with one of the others. You know what I'm saying? You got sisters, brothers, and others. So yeah, like there's a certain like code way to go about things that a lot of people don't know. But it's part of how I'm trying to set up our PR for B1 Initiative. Like I just haven't I don't think we've practiced it enough. I'm trying to practice it at least. There's an interviewer, I forgot his name, but the name of the show somebody told me about. It's called Cows, COWS, where basically he does what I just did with the last guest. Like he have him come up and he just ask him all these questions, and like you really get to like understand. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal of your conversations with a Yankee. You feel me? You should be on a research mission. You know what I'm saying? Discovery. Like that's the best way to interact with them, the least problematic way to interact with them, and the most constructive way to interact with them. Because now, even if you don't do anything with the information that they give you about how they see the world or anything like that, you've at least seen real world examples of how the teachings of some of these scholars is true. You know what I'm saying? If you know uh what to look for, like the scholars explain that. If y'all don't know what scholars I'm talking about, check out b1initiative.org, join the Discord. We're talking about John Henry Clark. We're talking about Joseph Ben Yakinen. We're talking about Dr. Amos Wilson a lot. A lot of what I was talking about when I was talking about Black Power, that's Dr. Amos Wilson all day. Khalid Muhammad came, I didn't really. I tried not to channel my Khalid Muhammad because my inner Khalid Muhammad couldn't have survived that conversation. That would have went left. You know what I'm saying? I'll be up here channeling the ancestors, man. My Khalid Muhammad is like Shaka times. Nah, Shaka's a pretty good representation of TikTok Khalid, man. Right. Yo, I never thought of it that way, but I guess you're right. Dr. Muhammad was petty. He was mad petty, bro. I never even thought of it that way, but that's a great way to just get to the root of what made him so like it's like he made learning something you wanted to do with his lectures. And that's something that's an African tradition. We always season everything. So even when we teach our children, we teach them with fun activity. You know what I'm saying? Like we teach them different ways. Europeans told you to sit down in a classroom and stare at a page in order to learn. You know what I'm saying? We ain't learned like that before. We ain't learned like that before. And so then, you know, because their culture is reading a certain way, when some black children have a hard time, it's because that's not part of our culture. Now, reading is part of our culture, but that being the only way to learn is not part of our culture. Reading is part of our culture. We taught the whole world how to read, but that being the only way to learn is not part of our culture. We taught many different ways. Taught through music, we taught through song, we taught through drums, we taught through dances, passed it down thousands of years, millenniums. You know how much time that is for us to get it right? You know how long we had to get that right? You know what I'm saying? And then Europeans come around in the past 4 to 6,000 years, and all of a sudden we don't got no culture. It's wild. How do we like now we don't got no culture? We took 200,000 years, almost 300,000 years before y'all even came into existence making culture. And now you show up and no one has culture but your museums are filled with our culture. The Jews, I'm sorry, the Ish people, y'all might put F1 down there. The Ish people left the quote unquote Middle East, right? Came to Africa, quote unquote Egypt, and left with a whole bunch of culture that spread throughout the world and became the base for the top three major religions. You know what I'm saying? Abrahamic religion. We gave them that. That's what happens when they spent a few hundred years in our culture. They dipped their toe in our pool, and they came out with Abrahamic religion. Most of these people in them books y'all are named after, if not your first name, then your last name. To this day, just because they came in and had a taste. Peace, brother Timothy.
Hey, what's going on, family?
Yes, sir. Talking about that John Henry Clark video from Sunday.
Oh yeah, no, that was a powerful video, brother.
Yeah.
Everything that Dr. John Henry Clark comes out with is pure gold.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I'm
came out
trying
with.
to show y'all. Man, I got mad security alerts. Oh my. They was acting like a tornado was coming here last night.
Yeah. Like, seek shelter immediately.
Yeah, nah, it's different in Texas, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I was
Um,
privy to one storm out there, and yeah, it was no joke.
yeah, yeah, nah, it's true. Yeah, that was about an hour from me, bro. Like maybe like I don't know. It might be longer than an hour, but it wasn't that far away. Like, bruh. Old Tim the author. Who's that? Oh, Tim. We taught the world math. We taught the world reading. The oldest text ever written was written by a black man. The first God ever known to mankind was a black woman, an African woman named Hathor. She was depicted as black. This stuff is not even controversial. If you're a conspiracy theorist, you're on the wrong side of TikTok. This is stuff that they don't want you to know. We're just here to ask you to think critically. The name of the oldest text was Tahotep, right? Timothy?
The teachings of Ptah Hotep. Yeah.
Yeah, Ptahotep.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the oldest book in the world. Oldest book in the world. And he is depicted as a black man. Um, Black Wings. Oh, Black Wing Zero. What's up?
What up, man?
Peace, peace.
Now, you know I'm blacker than the ace of spades, so you ain't got to question my blackness about that. But I'm going like this. Is black culture appropriated? Hell no. Because I'm going like this. Anybody remember that story where the damn dude had a whole black party? These people were dressed in blackface,
Oh
were,
yeah.
were dressed in blackface, and they had awards for this stuff. Blacker face. So they dressed like every black stereotype they can possibly think about. Every every black superstar they can possibly think about. Mind you, they all in blackface.
Mm. Yeah, I seen that.
So, and here's one big thing for my black sisters. Please stop letting Becky think she Bonquisha. Because all she's doing, we seen Mo Vicky, all she's doing is playing a stereotype. Like, I'm literally going like this. It's insane how, here's the thing. It's insane how American, black American damn culture, as well as black culture, as well as African culture, is literally getting stomped on and saying, it's a trend. Oh, I'm wearing my head in a head wrap. Knowing the fact knowing the fact black women have been wrapping their hair for centuries. Oh, I invented the bonnet. No, the fuck you didn't. Oh, and my personal favorite, YET dudes, can I ask y'all a question? Why in the fuck are y'all wearing a do-rag? You cannot get waves. Why in the hell are you wearing a do-rag? And if you say wave check, you got straight hair. Ain't no wave check. It's probably just a simmer. And if I and for my YET women, if I see another twerking tutorial and you ain't got no ass, I'm slapping the shit out of you. And I'll be quiet after that.
All right. Well, thank you, Brother Blackwing. I guess yeah, he did. He answered the question. What y'all think down there? Is black culture appreciated or appropriated? And if you do know the answer to the question, can you tell us how you know the difference? Because we haven't had many of us in here today. I should have restarted the live earlier, but we did have one interesting interview with a Mayflower man. Interesting. Absolutely. We got two appropriated. Tia and Stella getting the A plus as always. Because where is the appreciation? First question when we talk about culture is if it's appreciated, do you appreciate the blueprint for the culture? You got to appreciate the blueprint. And if you have been appreciating the blueprint for the culture, show us when you did that. Because we haven't seen y'all treat our sisters like you appreciated them. When did appreciation start?
Yeah. I mean, the only time I've ever seen any evidence of appreciation was back when we had power. They would come to black African civilizations and they would see just how divinely we treated black women. They would see just how divinely black women looked, adorning themselves in all types of jewelry, copper, every form of outfit, every single hairstyle imaginable, just pure, unfiltered, untouched, like black African excellence, just walking around. And, many foreigners very much so recognize that and put that down as, oh, snap, black women are the most beautiful women in the world.
Mm,
Yeah. And then that's when they started to get envious.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Oh, I gotta be careful saying that. I put that in a comment one time and they really like dinged my account for it. Like I
Oh,
said,
boy.
yeah, like bruh, I really got in trouble for that. I'm like, what in the world? Damn.
Yeah.
Good shit.
TikTok, they, oh, well, actually, you know what? They gave me a violation because I told, the truth based off of a research paper. Well, technically speaking, the theory that I presented is something that obviously it's kind of like if you're conscious, then it's common sense. But yeah, no, I was saying that because YT people don't have the ability to produce uh, color, like how Dr. Francis Chris Welsing was saying, and yeah, in several lectures or book the ISIS papers, that subconsciously they pursue the production or the attempt to participate in the production of color. And so I was saying like that is part of the reason why they are promoting so much interracial relationships through media now. And the second that I said that, it was up for like a week, and then they all of a sudden were like, guidelines violation, misinformation. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, so no worries. I posted it in more than one spot. It's on Instagram too. Y'all ain't get me there yet. So,
Can I just say, brothers? You know what I'm getting sick of? The fetishizing. Like y'all want to be black to a certain extent, and it's getting interesting. It's getting fucking annoying. YT people, like I'm going like this. You want to taste brown sugar, so you will just know the taste to see if there's a freaking difference. You want to basically experience the black damn struggle, knowing the fact if you even step 1 hour in a black man's shoes, you will lose your damn mind. You want to basically experience how it feels to be a black man in America. Say if it's equal, but yet you don't want the consequence to come with your actions. Like it's getting annoying. And if I hear one more time about the black friend, I'm going to freaking scream.
yeah, wasn't there this I think it was on the Oprah show or something like that. But wasn't there this YT dude that took these certain kind of pills that made his skin complexion extremely like heavily melanated, and he was, I guess, trying to see what it was like to live as a black man for a certain amount of time.
No,
And
that was a woman, and she basically went through. I think she made her skin darker, and she was on Maury. but she had no black features. All she said she identifies as a black woman, like Rachel Dolezal, but all she did was make her skin darker.
Oh
That's
no
all
no
she
no!
did.
That's a completely different lady. She goes to like all these weird body modifications, and she even said on one of the shows that she was like the proud owner of black skin on some weird stuff. Like, yeah, she said that. She said that. And but there's this other dude that was on the Oprah show. I remember that he yeah, he pursued trying to live a life as a brother for like I think he got maybe about a week, and then after after he got through a week, he ended the experiment early because he couldn't take it.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't 100% quote me on that, yo. I'd have to double check on the story, but I remember very vividly seeing like an Oprah program where I see this YT dude just with extremely pigmented skin, and I'm like, hold on, that that caught my attention. I remember seeing that for sure.
There was a show like that with Ice Cube. Um, black to white. I think it was black to white or black and white. It might have just been black and white. It used to come on FX back in the day. I watched it with my parents. But yeah, basically the white couple put black, brown makeup on, and once they were finished, they wanted to have sex. They wanted to get it on with each other. They were like, ooh, ooh. And when the black couple was finished getting turned into, um, the children of the chalk, they were like, they didn't want to touch each other. They just went to sleep. Like, and just like, okay, oh wow. Like they were laughing, like, you look funny. Oh wow, wow. And then that was it. Like they just went to sleep. But the white tea folks wanted to get it on. That's the first thing they wanted to do. It's wild. Like, ooh, you look good. Ooh. Um,
Yeah, bro, that's that speaks to that deep internalized fetishization, that hypersexualization of us. Like we're literally just existing as human beings, and they've been fetishizing us since the very beginning of their skin pigmentation no longer having melanin, which was only like 6,000 years ago.
the show is black to white, black and white. I think it was black and white. But it was on Netflix. Just look up Ice Cube because Ice Cube was the executive producer. So just look up Ice Cube TV show and FX. It was on FX. Oh, black white. You know what? Yeah, I think that is the name. Black white. That was the name. Not black and white. It was just black white.
And I just ask one question to basically to people in the chat right now. Don't y'all feel it peculiar when YHT people act a certain way around you? Like they do this whole kind of stereotypical metamorphosis just around you. Like I'm a little like every time basically a white dude is hanging around with his black friends, he's sagging his pants. He's literally acting like a freaking stereotype of what, like you the macaroni salad at the cookout. Like I'm literally going like, and for white women, y'all the worst when it comes out of this. Y'all want to basically act black to the point that y'all getting curly weaves that go straight up like Marge Simpson because you think. And if I hear, "Oh, you should have been born black," and they ain't got no rhythm whatsoever, it's just why. I physically ask this: why do y'all want to be us? But yet, when it comes down to the consequences that we see in our community, you don't want to take part in it, but you want to be black like us. Like it don't make sense.
I could make it make sense.
Make it make sense, bro.
They don't want to be us. They need us in order to validate their identity that they created called whiteness. It can't be Satan without a God. You know what I'm saying? Can't be a God without a Satan. We validate their quote unquote humanity, even though there's a lack thereof, by their ability to look at us as inhumane. And so they like to play with the line and show you that they can do the same thing you do, but still get treated humanely. And that it just reaffirms to them that they're better because they're genetically, or at least, based on the system, superior. Like it gives them that sense of superiority. You know, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. talk about basically um, how you know they do want to be able to produce melanin. That's something that we see them do with putting tattoos on their skin and stuff like that. But they don't actually want to be us because when asked if they would switch places, they say no. You know, but they still have what looks like an obsession with us. But again, that's not based in love, or infatuation. That's just something that validates their identity. I would say look at Post Malone if you want to look at them tattooing their face up. Post Malone came out in blackface. Post Malone said, first of all, his name is named after a black man, right? Post Malone. Like he's saying after Malone retired, like Post Malone, whatever. But then his first song is White Iverson. Like, why couldn't he just be Iverson? Why couldn't he just be like Iverson? Look, you see, I just put the same syllables together. It would have fit the song perfectly. Like Iverson, when I was balling, I was young. Da, 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 like all of that, everything he said, like Iverson, but no, he had to remind you that I do everything you do, but I don't have the same consequences. I don't want to be you. I want to be white and do what you do. You see what I'm saying?
Let me just say this. I like being black, and basically this, right? Not all black people act the same. We're like, here's the thing. We're like chocolate ice cream. Not all chocolate ice cream from different damn manufacturers act and taste the same. Think about it. If you taste let's say Haagen Dazs, but then you get some dryers, you notice the difference. You notice the difference.
Mhm.
Same when it comes down to black people and other black people. There's basically this. I have seen black goth people. I have seen black basically preppy people. I have seen the Rocket Raccoons. I don't want to claim them. I have seen the basic Afrocentric black brothers and sisters. I have seen the militant black brothers and sisters, which I'm a part of. I thank him. I have seen the hooga boogers. I have seen basically the damn Afro Latinos and Latinas. If y'all ever claim your blackness, let's keep it 100.
Mhm.
And I have seen African Americans. And I have seen N words. I'm going like this. There are some people that act like the N word
I would
stereotype.
say that I would say they're all in words. What is your definition of in words?
The stereotype that's technically the Webster dictionary of that word, no, the Webster dictionary description of said word. Like we're lazy, we're basically it's not a big percentage of how many N words stereotypes there are. So I'm going like this. You do realize that YHT people act more English than we do. I just want to put that out there. Because I've seen a whole lot of white people claiming welfare and food stamps than black people. I've seen black women basically get more education than a white Haiti woman. But yet we got the stereotype. Are you fucking kidding me? Like every stereotype you can think of, they act like it. But they think everybody thinks like the N-word. No, we don't. There are people willing to basically advance in their blackness. They just want to be black. Leave us the fuck alone. Leave us the fuck alone. Do not try to beat us. Create your own. Like, you have the ability to create your own culture. Why don't you fucking do it? I still don't know what the fuck is white culture. I have literally tagged you in these videos. I have done the research. I still can't find what white culture is.
All right, peace and abundance. What's going on?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Give me just a moment. I'm gonna come to you next. All right.
Yeah, me mute up. My fault.
All right. Um. So when we talk about the N word, I just wanted to maybe pass on some knowledge to y'all. Right. The N word is the most offensive word in the English language. That's not my opinion. That's actually the opinion of Webster Dictionary and um, a study that was done. But the N word is the most offensive word, and y'all can look this up. The most offensive word in the English language is a word that is meant for a people, but not just for a people, to be derogatory. It's a derogatory term. No matter what you look up, what dictionary you look up, they cannot define the N word. All it says is it's a derogatory term towards an African or black person, or a black person or a person of African descent. And so, I don't know, peace and abundance. I'm not sure if you're shaking your head or you listening to music. All right, well,
I'm sorry, kind of both, because I do disagree with you on that, and I kind of have like the thing to back it up.
all right.
Correction, brother. I actually looked this up. The most offensive word in the United States, as well as the UK, is cunt.
That's cap. Hold on.
I
I ain't
think
gonna
it's
hold
cat.
you.
I don't know it's cat, but I'm going like
That's
this.
cap.
They
That's
said
cap, bro.
but the N word is number, and also
Look up the N word on Wikipedia. I think it is. It's want to say it's the most offensive word in
okay.
English.
The most uncertain words is idiot, jerk, lame, plain in the neck.
My
These
biggest
are
thing is that like we already know. My biggest thing is that if we already know that generally speaking, they ain't even allowed to say the word. Like
Oh,
they
but
literally have to address it as the N word. Then, and yet every other word can be just fully stated right off the bat. Then that doesn't make sense for to whatever institution came up with that. That doesn't make sense for them to be coming out with that because it's like, all right, y'all can't even say the one word, but every other word y'all can say as an example of what not to say. So it's like,
But Timothy, this is the
all right,
double entendre.
right.
Y'all came up with this word. This is y'all word. We weren't in words until we came here.
That's not true, bro. I got the proof. That's not true.
All right, all right. Peace and abundance. You one of them like culty. The sky is the ground, and we're all cosmic beings type of people. It's cool. I've seen you in another live. I'm good. We don't need to go down that path because
No, 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 no.
he's just gonna talk about how the Earth is flat. He's gonna start talking about how the Earth is flat, and we're all just loopy individuals in straight lines. Like he's gonna do that whole thing, man. It's cool, man.
He do realize Nigger started here. Started
I
here.
already know what he's about to do. I think
It's an English
was it?
derogatory word.
He's one of
It's
them.
not.
Egypt is in Canada. I mean the Grand Canyon type of guys. Like he's one of them. Like he's
Oh, he's a rocket raccoon.
Yeah, he's peace and abundance, but he's really war and lack. You know what I'm saying?
I'm literally saying this, but he's saying, "Oh, that's not true." No, every derogatory word that you can think of, white men came up with. Even the names they call themselves.
I didn't
Timothy, am
even
I
get to the
wrong
point
though?
of what I was going to say because now you got me feeling like I'm tripping. I definitely looked this up. I didn't. I'm just now powering up my
Dude,
laptop.
I'm looking it up too. Dude, I'm telling you, I looked it up too. I'm on my computer right now.
All right, let's see. Okay, so the NAACP says, hold on now. It was a yeah. See, it was an article that came out.
The reason that is most offensive because guess what? The largest minority in the world is women.
What does that mean?
Even though basically we're the largest population, but the largest basically minority in the United States as well as the world is women.
Okay. All right,
That's the reason why it's the
dictionary.com.
most offensive word.
Dictionary.com says it's probably the most offensive word in the English language. So does Collins Dictionary, whatever that is. It was on a few. It was on a few dictionary sites.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like, all right, um, yes, absolutely, like very much so. There's more women than there are men on the planet. I forget exactly what the numbers are on one side versus the other, but yeah, no, there's definitely more women on the planet than there are men. Because I mean, obviously, men are um, more so the ones that are sent off to conflict. Men are more so the ones also um, that are self unalive. Men are also more so the ones that um, get involved in shit that unalives us. So the sisters just be sitting there like, okay, why are y'all doing that dumb shit? We're
I
just like,
mean, my
nope,
thing is,
fine.
right? If we're such a small minority of powerless people, why is a name for us in the top five bad words in your language? You see what I'm saying? Like, why is the name for us even one of your most offensive terms? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's always going to be a subjective definition on what's the most offensive. But if we can at least land on, it shouldn't even be top five. Like, to be honest, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? How y'all treat y'all women is how y'all been treating y'all women for a long time. It actually makes perfect sense why both those words are in the English, in English. But I don't think that word that he said was offensive is just offensive towards women because you call a man that is still on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the thing. But yeah, it's it shouldn't even be in the top five. And then my thing about that is that the definition has been taken from it and wielded as a power. We watched a video on this on Sunday. Like, the definition of it has been taken from it, so now it has power. Like, you could call somebody anything. I could call you a cookie jar, and if you don't know what a cookie jar is, you might actually get offended because you don't even know what I'm calling you. So, a derogatory term for a black person, but yet there's no derivative meaning for why he's being called that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no, like, if you want to look at it as a archaeological term, or I'm sorry, anthropological term, then it means black from Africa. How is calling us that derogatory? If it means a victim of white supremacy. How is that derogatory? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's defined as derogatory. And that's what gives it its power. So if we as black people can give it our definition, which would be a victim of white supremacy, then maybe, although we're not about to sit here and let people talk like that to us, but we also can have a little bit more sense of self-control over how we view that word. Like um that's what Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. talks about.
Actually, I did read a little bit deeper into terms of royalty in Ethiopia, and one of the terms that actually came up. Now, I'm not 100% sure as to how this word ties into, or whether or not this word even was a word that was heard by the oppressor, and then they just used that word and then bastardized it, mutilated it, and twisted it around to make it into a derogatory term. But I do know that certain members of the royal family were actually referred to as Negus. Um,
Yeah.
and uh, what do you say, brother?
I said, yeah, I know about that.
Mhm.
You saying that's the original term?
Well, that I don't know.
No,
I'd have
yeah,
to
no, it's not. Kendrick
just
Lamar used it, and everybody lost their goddamn minds. But that's not. Yeah, that's not the original.
got okay. Yeah, nah, because I still I didn't check the actual timestamp for that. I just know that at one point that was used. But yeah, like the whole oh, that's where it came from and everything. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not claiming that until I do the full research. So don't nobody say that after I just said that. don't don't start using it as oh, it's a term of royalty now. Like, nah, don't. Tim said it. Like, nah, nah.
No. Let him use it as a term of royalty in peace. Get the royal flush when you do it. I'm talking about the 5 finger discount. Basically the 5 fingers across your face. There is an actual. Here's the thing. Me as a person of the black delegation, we have decided that if you say the N word in front of black people and you're not part of the community and you say it in a disrespectful sort of way, there is a consequence to it. So why don't say it? There is something called getting Timberland up. There's something called basically getting a damn fade. There's something called I'm about to flame your ass. Like we practice this stuff because we don't want to be our fathers no more thinking that shit's cool. See, we learned from a dude named there was a wise man known as Rick James. And basically he didn't let anything or anybody stand in his way of his damn dreams in except basically an addiction. But he had a damn the first thing I am is black. The second thing I am is a person. And we've been living like that ever fucking since. We're not letting you step all over us. So guess what? If you say the N word and say, well, it's a term of royalty. I heard it from this live one basically said. But if I say it in the A form, yeah, there is a damn consequence to it. You would get punched in the chest. You would get something called age. You would get stomped in the nuts. It is what it is. The only people that can use it, there are people that acknowledge themselves as black. I don't want to use this, but that's the only way, the only thing we have in this country, let alone this world, is that derogatory word that y'all gave us.
I can't co-sign that. We They didn't give us nothing. They didn't give us that.
Exactly, because we might say it, but they're making money off of it. I want to put this in perspective. White supremacy is still making money off the N word. So how do we own a word that we ain't making money off of? Tim, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, say I'm wrong.
I mean, I okay. Out of respect, and because I understand where the word comes from, and not to say that brothers and sisters that use the word don't understand where it comes from, because they very much so do. Like it's not to say that at all, but just out of respect for my African family, I don't use it. Back in maybe like high school, was I like less aware of everything associated with it? Yeah. So was I using it more commonly? Yeah, back in high school. But the minute that I became more conscious, but also at the same time, because of the way that I phenotypically present, the last thing that I want to do is to especially have our brothers and sisters that may not necessarily see me as a black man, but obviously I'm still very much so a black man. But for my African family that may not see me that way, the last thing that I want to do is to accidentally um, re-traumatize our African family by saying that around them. So it's just out of respect. That's just something that I'm just like, you know what? I ain't like, nah. Like I for damn certain ain't gonna even. I'm not like I'm just not. And I mean that's the decision that I came to. But I definitely do understand that when brothers and sisters decide to, an African family decide to address each other as that it is very much so a reclaiming of the word. It's taking something that was meant to dehumanize us and shifting it around and turning it into something that's like, yeah, only black people can say it. And it's that's how I see it. But yeah, I definitely do understand our African family that you know that say that it's one of their ways of acknowledging, like, hey, my fellow like African family that is oppressed, and
Fellow victim of white supremacy,
yeah, hmm
comrade. Um, so yeah, it takes on a different meaning, but someone that is a perpetrator of white supremacy reminding you that you're a victim of white supremacy is an easy way to understand why that word is offensive when it comes from the mouth of someone else. Um, but yeah, all right, y'all. It's been a heck of a night. I'm gonna get down out of here. For Creed, come up here and say something crazy. All right, we're gonna let Creed talk and then we're gonna go.
Okay. Yeah. So how's it going?
Give us your
Um,
age, race, and pronoun.
there's a lot of people that you said what?
Give us your age, race, and pronouns.
30s, black. I'm a man. Um, no, yes. So there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that feel like the qualifier for being able to say that word is that they're black. Well, I'm black. They call me that. Why can't I say it? Um, and and then they try to Africanize the word that and how it's used, the history behind it in the United States. So going from 2024, skip 400 or 500 years way back to Africa, and so uh anybody and people feel like, well, just because you're black, you can say it, but that's not the case, because that was the case, then African immigrants wouldn't come over here and not understand the history behind that word. The only
They don't understand the history
uh
behind it.
you said what?
Why you assume they don't understand the history behind it?
They don't.
Why wouldn't they? They got
Yeah,
called that too.
I'm talking about how it's used.
What?
Huh? I'm talking about how it's
You know they
used.
got called that
I'm
word
talking
in
about how it's
Africa
used.
too, right?
This, and that's so they call each other that. Is it in their vocabulary?
It's in the vocabulary of their oppressors.
That, and we don't call each other We don't call each other what. Mm,
Bro, in
you
every
think
language
after
in the
that?
world, for in every language in the world, there is a word for
I,
black
I'm
people.
not. I'm not.
I'm sorry?
No. So,
There is a
Negro,
derogatory
for
term for
example,
black
Negro.
people.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Negro. The history of the Negro or the so-called Negroes in America. People like to say, "Well, Negro means black," but it wasn't referring to all black people or people of dark skin. Just because you have dark skin, you wasn't just that that didn't mean you was considered a Negro. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, you also had to be in bondage. So you had to be
So
like a
Negro.
victim of white supremacy.
So
A
do
victim of
you
white
agree that
supremacy.
everybody? You agree that just being Negro wasn't referring to all black people. Do you agree with that in America?
At the time, the definition of black people that we're using didn't exist. And the people here in America were the ones that were Negroes because they had been in bondage. So once an African was in bondage, they were Negro, even on the continent of Africa. Once they were
I'm
in
not
those,
talking about Africa. I'm talking about America.
well, I'm saying they existed outside of America as well. They just had to be in bondage. Once they
Okay.
were, once they had
I'm talking
shackles
about
around
America.
them, once they had shackles around them, that's when they started calling them that word.
Okay, we talking about America though. And the reason I say that is because when you study history and there's a message, the message is to the so-called Negroes. When you try to attach Negroes to all black people, you know how we use black people. When you try to attach that to all black people, all you know, melanated or whatever word you want to use, you water down the message. Um, when people say, I can't say the word, I ain't gonna say the word. Usually
Yeah,
I say
I
it.
know what you're trying to
But
do. You're trying to misquote Malcolm X again, brother.
hey,
I played that
test it.
same video clip for you like a dozen times just now. Like
I'm not talking
he's
to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
yeah, but I'm
Thank
up
you.
here on the panel, Creed. So like, stop,
You can mute
just
yourself.
stop,
Thank you.
Creed again. Do you want me to
But
replay that video clip from Malcolm X because
damn,
you
I
keep
swear,
doing the
y'all
same
biracial,
thing?
y'all biracials are problematic for real.
All right,
Why don't
because I won't
you
let you
just shut that?
misquote Brother Malcolm X. Is that the
Thank
problem?
you.
Is because I won't let you misquote Brother Malcolm
Malcolm
X,
X
and
always said so.
because
Malcolm X said the words. You cherry
he
pick of
literally
what you
said
heard
so
or
called
whatever.
that. He
Man, come on.
said so
I
called
don't.
that, and then all right, Creed. You know what? We're not playing this game. We're not playing this game.
I
Look,
swear,
he
you got
said so called. He said so called, and don't unmute again. Stop. Stop.
it's a
He
white
said,
father. It comes time.
all right. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and drop his ass. All right. So
Are
again.
hilarious.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that he can latch on to because he knows that he cannot intellectually break down what it is that I'm telling him because I played that same video clip for him a dozen times. So what does he do? Oh, let me attack your background because that's all I can latch on to. But at the end of the day, Malcolm X very clearly said, so called that word. And then he was addressing African Americans. He was addressing what was going on with us. So that's a more so a specific word to us, brothers and sisters in the African family in
Yeah.
bondage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Once you were in bondage. That's what he said multiple times. Like that was a second class, you know, status, as non humans, but human cargo. So
exactly. And
yeah.
then he went on to say very clearly that we are not Americans, that we are Africans. And that's the part where Creed always likes to conveniently leave out, even though I played that same video clip for him literally 7 times. I think it's been seven now that I've counted, because at one point in time he was on a live and he was just refusing to admit that that's what Malcolm X said. So I played the video clip for him for everybody to see. And everybody's like, do you get it now, Creed? And he was still trying to misquote Malcolm X, so I played it for him again. And everybody's like, bro, like he's saying the opposite to what you're saying. Like the man that you idolize so much is saying opposite to what you are saying. And then he's like, well, he said other things too. And I played for it again, a third time. And like it, by the time that we got to the end of it, it was literally like 5 or 6 times that I had played it. And then another live, I played it for him again because he was trying to misquote Malcolm X again.
Mm.
And then here we are again, him trying to misquote Malcolm X again. Like
Yeah.
every time, every single time. He's my idol, but I don't know how to quote properly what he said.
Well, I think Creed, the jig is up. We're not falling for it anymore. You gotta come up with some new lines, man. I don't know what to tell you. But I'm gonna go, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of your night. I've got some work to do. Appreciate everybody contributing to the conversation. Timothy, Child to Raise Days for the gifts. Thankful. Quan Synchro, Mrs. Santiago. Yeah, appreciate y'all stopping through, Stella, Tia, and for those of y'all that don't know, you can check out my YouTube. I post all the replays there, and y'all have a great rest of your night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. One love.